All right. Good evening. My name is Ann Dar. I am the consultant for Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services at ESC Region 11, and I am glad to be with you this evening. We are very fortunate to have Janira Benitez, who is from the Deaf Action Center. Her focus is on youth programming for the Deaf Action Center, which is in Dallas. And she's going to talk to us a little bit more about opportunities for deaf and hard of hearing youth through the Deaf Action Center. So I am going to let her go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here, Janira.
Hi, and thank you, Anne, so much for inviting me here. I'm excited to present to you about the youth and the students. A little bit more about me, and I am the YETS coordinator. I am Janira Benitez Rios. I have a daughter who is completely deaf, and so we're trying to make accessibility for the youth, and I have one younger child who is hearing. Let me explain a little bit about my role, and I'll do that in just a moment. So Deaf Action Center, DAC, our mission is to ensure that deaf and hard of hearing individuals have the means to advance through education, economic security, and good health. We provide different types of services. Whatever your child needs, we try to fit their needs. Some services include advocacy. The advocacy focuses on communication when there are barriers, knocking down those barriers. We want to make sure that the youth have the ability to have communication access. That's the key, is access to communication. So advocacy is that part. Technology. We provide services for technology systems, hearing aids, cochlear implants, alarms, any type of system that your child might need that has to do with technology, we have that provider. Senior citizens and food services. That is our most valuable community. Our senior citizens, we want to make sure that we provide the support that they need. So we have a staff who weekly goes to their apartment, provides food to make sure they have everything they need. We provide transportation to our senior citizens to the community. We have information and referral. That is one of our services where we want to make sure that people get the information that they need and we refer them to correct department. That's kind of our front office. And then interpreting service, it's awesome. If anyone needs an interpreter for medical appointment, doctor's appointment, or school, Deaf Action Center has interpreting services just like other agencies do. And then it's my department, the Youth Education Transition Services. That's what we're going to focus on tonight in this presentation. So a little bit more, what is YETS? It is Youth Education Transition Services. We provide additional support to parents, teachers, staff, and educators. We are a resource for parents and educators. Our focus is on transition for our students 14 to 22 years of age. It doesn't matter if they are outside of that age, we will refer them to another department. But my focus for this transition is to provide the tools they need to be ready for college life, independent living, employment, transition into those spaces, something that maybe they have not yet experienced. The reason why YETS was established is because we had many years where we had phone calls from parents and staff and educators contacting us trying to see what more we could do for the youth. They recognized that there was very little provided for them, and the youth did not have that particular type of organization. And the deaf and hard of hearing youth were lacking in that. So we knew we needed to set up a program specifically for the youth. A little bit more about Deaf Action Center, some statistics and facts. We noticed that individuals ages 18 and up tended to contact us about 6 times a year for advocacy cases, which meant there was an issue that we recognized needed more support and understanding how to be a successful self-advocate. There was so much misunderstanding about the ADA and their rights. And, should there be an interpreter? Must there be an interpreter in every situation? We noticed that our youth needed more information on those skills. So from those common cases, we noticed that it was the youth would contact us for medical advocacy related to not getting interpreters for doctor's appointments, medical hospital emergencies to telling them they need an interpreter. If the interpreter wasn't there yet, what can they do? They wanted to make sure they could communicate their needs in medical situations. Secondly, employment, getting hired, applying, being ready to be hired. So letting their potential employer know that they would need an interpreter that matches their needs. And then third, general use of interpreting. That one tended to deal with educational interpreting, recognizing that they're not the same as community interpreting. So a lot of the youth were confused and trying to have relationships with their interpreters or getting close to them, and they go to college and the interpreters are more neutral. They're not there to provide anything other than communication access. So we had to help them understand that's what their job. So the change transitioning from high school where they're used to educational interpreters and the K through 12 setting, the post-secondary was not the same situation. So some examples of common misunderstandings. Number one, that all businesses, employers must provide communication access. That in all cases, the misunderstanding is that every time there should be an interpreter, and that's not the case. The law provides the reasonable accommodation. That's what we teach them. However, it's our job to educate and let them educate the businesses, the doctor's office, the medical facilities. We need to educate them why we need the interpreter. Accommodation can mean lip reading. It can mean writing. It could mean TTY. I know that's old, but that is still in there. Interpreters or VRI, video remote interpreting. The demands vary. They must provide reasonable accommodation. We have to help them understand that don't have to convince them that they need an interpreter every single time, but it's based on their needs. Advocacy. It's a process. It's not just automatic for each setting. So we have to help them understand how to practice. Like tomorrow, I'm going to have an interpreter. I need to know what to do. We need to practice with the youth and train them and to know what their accommodations are, what the laws are, how I can find what best fits my needs so that they get used to what is the accommodation. If an employer has less than 15 employees, they are not required to provide an interpreter. So to apply that to a small business that has just set up, they have limited funding, so they don't have enough money to provide communication access. So that they can contact Deaf Action Center, and we have a small budget to provide like limited resources that we can use for these specific situations where they're not required. In most cases, they would be required to provide for your child, but sometimes they're not. So that's where we use the limited amount of resources that we have to provide that accommodation. Community interpreters are not the same as educational interpreters. That's a misunderstanding across the line. They have boundaries. Educational interpreters tend to be more close to the student, provide more support for them. They provide advocacy. So it's important that we educate the youth that they are responsible now in school, they had an interpreter set up for an ARD meeting. They had an interpreter set up for the transition meetings. So we really kind of spoil them. They really become spoiled that they think they have an interpreter everywhere they go. We provide unending amounts of interpreting for them. And so it's tough when they realize that it's a struggle. But when they graduate and your child obviously they realize, okay, now I have to learn, I have responsibilities. They're not going to just provide for me. It's my turn now for me to advocate and make the requests. It's on me to do that. The school isn't going to do that. The teacher's not going to be there to help them. So for finding a job, it's tough when they experience oppression or sometimes discrimination. And we have communication barriers. There are multiple layers of challenges and obstacles that they face. So we want to, when they apply for a job, we want them to know they can't assume, again, assuming that the employer is going to provide an interpreter, there can become major issues. So we strongly encourage the youth to take advantage of the resources that they have. And most of your children have already had a VR counselor. Well, Naomi Jackson in Dallas, that's their VR counselor in Dallas. She's very strong about teaching the students that they have to have a goal. They make a list of things they're going to do, is teaching them to have a goal, asking for an interpreter. VR will provide an interpreter for the interviews. And so they're thinking they are not going to provide an interpreter. That means they're not going to hire me. Well, they need to learn to take advantage of the vocational rehab services to provide the interpreter and then educate the employer. Then it is your responsibility now to provide for your employee once you are hired. It's the same with the schools. For the ARD meeting, they tend to have, the IEP for schools. They want to make sure that the teacher follows what the goals were for the student. Oh, I had experience with that every year. Now as a mother, I'm deaf myself, and then I experienced an IEP meeting, and now with my child. And then Texas Workforce Commission, TWC, they have an IEPA that they work with the employer. And so they set goals, they make requests, they can provide training. So even if they're not providing, you can put that down as something to make the request. So job placement is something that TWC will work with. So if I need training for a job, need more experience, how to do a resume, how, communication skills, TWC is responsible for providing that. So a little bit more information about YETS. We got some private funding September 2019, and we had to really look for the funding. DAC is a nonprofit organization, so everything we do, everything we set up needs funding before it can be set up. YETS was set up in January 2020, and we provide classes, 3 different classes: self-advocacy. That one is the most important, I believe, of the 3. The youth need to understand how to successfully self-advocate. The self-advocacy will help them understand best how to request an interpreter. Can I request an interpreter for a medical situation or other accommodations? So we explain to them about VRI. Video remote interpreting can, be valuable, but it depends on the bandwidth of the location. Sometimes the interpreter on the screen will freeze. So teaching them to let them to know about their rights according to the ADA. Also the tuition waiver, we explain that and make sure that they know about the ADA or the disabilities office at their school, how to get connected with them. Also work readiness, teaching them, training them for work readiness, practicing creating a resume, practice interviews, we have mock interviews, and then learning how to dress appropriately for an interview. So how to create a cover letter and what that looks like. All of the things related to work readiness. All three of them are each a 6-week class. So I meet with the students twice a week or one time every week for 12 weeks. 2 times a week for 6 weeks, and then another twice a week for another 6 weeks. So work exploration and work-based learning. Unfortunately, when COVID hit, this requires more like internships to go out in the field to see what is done on the job, to physically go and see. Well, that's more fun, but because of COVID, we were limited as to where we could go on site. So we're putting that one on hold, and hopefully when things get better and are gone, we can go back to that third course. So in Dallas or Irving and Plano, and Dallas Fort Worth, I tend to go to the schools. I can go and I teach, but now because of the barriers, things have changed to Zoom instruction, where we meet 100% now on Zoom. We can meet with your child for this training and find out what is best fits their needs. I can be there for your child or for you yourself and figure out what the best accommodation is. So if you want to know how you can support us, parents, educators, staff, there is a fund set up where donations can be made for this program. We want to partner with our TWC as an ongoing work with your child. So that's a resource where they will refer you to Deaf Action Center. So we want a continuous relationship. Like Naomi is specifically, we partner with her, and in the new school year, when she has a client, that client is referred to us to be able to figure out what the specific needs are. And as they transition from school to work or school to college, we teach them about tuition waiver. So that way they are referred to us for those 3 courses. We tried to set up tutoring service to see if they needed that. We started with Dallas, with this school district in Dallas first, and we did kind of a pilot program, and it was successful with the tutoring. But again, once COVID hit, it was harder to meet with the child. So we'll put that on hold for now, or we have put that on hold for now. We're going to see what happens in the near future. Maybe we can start it again. So sometimes they'll see the teacher if they're not signing, and the child is saying, well, that they're not providing an accommodation. Well, they could type, we tell them that, but they prefer to have the sign access. So it's whatever your child needs, that's what we try to educate and teach them to take advantage of. So we are constantly receiving referrals, and we need more referrals for this program. We have a lot of referrals for advocacy. We refer for technology, and YETS is using, it's kind of new. So we're taking baby steps and getting it started. So when your child and the VR counselor, you talk with the VR counselor, let them know that they want to be involved in the YETS program. And we are gladly to welcome them into our program. You can go to the Deaf Action Center website. It has a programs tab. You'll see YETS pull up, fill out the information there, and just tell us that you need support for the child and let us know whatever it is. Give us your phone number and email. You can email also, and we'll take every opportunity we can to meet with your child or meet with you and let you know how we can help. So you could also let us know how we could be involved in the ARB meeting. As your child gets nearer to graduation, the YETS program can be there. We can be there to provide information on how we can meet your child's needs and make a smooth transition from school to work or employment or education. I want to emphasize really that we want to provide support. Any resources that we have, we want to provide as much support, many tools and resources for the youth that we can. We want the youth to start feeling empowered and confident. We want them to know they can contact us and ask for support. We are here to provide that. We want to fill in the gaps between school and parents. We are here also to be available to fill in those gaps. A lot of deaf students growing up, they didn't have complete communication or access. Sometimes their family spoke Spanish, and then they try to go through English before they can learn sign language. And so the communication is really a struggle at home. And everything at home, when they talk, people in their family who just talk, and the deaf or hard of hearing youth, they miss out a lot on that. So they can't gain information that way. So we want you to know, we want them to know that we are here to support them in any way we can. If we don't have the resource, we will find it. We will refer them to another organization in the community if we have to. The initial learning is important for development, for their brain development, and for their self-esteem. They don't have that exposure to the safe place other than the school, or they don't know why the teacher they have teachers and friends that sign, but sometimes when they go home, a lot of times they feel alone. They don't have a lot of family members who can communicate with them and share stories with them and develop language for that culture. So that transition can be very devastating. We want them to have confidence and self-esteem, but when they aren't able to communicate, that doesn't happen. So we want to provide the support that they need. And myself being deaf, I went to college, I'm a mom. So I want them to find role models anywhere that we can. Deaf Action Center has plenty of role models that they can look up to. Most of us are deaf or hard of hearing, and we are deaf-led. We are a deaf-led organization. And so we can relate to that. So we can mentor the students and give them the exposure that they need to see that there are deaf events that are out there. All they have to do is contact us, and we can provide the resources and tools and technology to let them know they can become self-confident, they can be empowered, they can set goals for the future and be successful. We want them to know they can. So we are here as a community resource to provide the support and the tools, anything the youth needs. Okay. Oh, I don't want to make sure I'm not going too fast. Okay, that's it in a nutshell. And if you want to add anything, or if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer those. Or anything you want me to expand on, I can do that.
I don't have anything to add, but I would love to open it up if anybody else has a question that they would like to ask of Janira, then they're welcome to do so. Oh, I do want to emphasize, here's my contact information. If in the future you feel the need, you want the support, or you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My contact number is here. Information is here. My video phone number is here on this slide. I just added the link to the presentation slides in the chat box. If anybody would like to like those slides, and they can click on this. This is also being recorded. So the recording of this presentation will be available tomorrow after I get it back from Zoom. Or actually, it might be a little bit later. We may clean up some of the captioning just a bit. The captioner's doing a good job. It's just live captioning. Any questions that anybody might have? We had one person that's been trying to get on, and I keep letting her in the room, and then she keeps disappearing. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. We'll have to make sure she gets a copy of the recording. Janira, did you discuss any kind of specific summer programming for kids?
We do have one at TSD typically, but this year registration has already happened. And because the camps are so limited, there really aren't any opportunities available now because they're so restricted. I missed it too. I wanted my child to go, but we found out there were so many different restrictions. So there isn't anything available that I know of right now.
Well, I think everybody is so happy to have options for their kids to go to camps that a lot of them filled up real quickly. So that does happen. And TSD has to close the enrollment so they can properly staff. They can't have 10 people registering the day before an event happens, and then they don't have enough staff for that event. Are there any opportunities through Deaf Action Center for kids to volunteer, or are there opportunities just for kids to come and hang out with maybe older deaf adults or elderly deaf adults, play games with them, do some activities such as that?
We really do welcome volunteers, but our senior citizens are very lonely. They're stuck in their apartments, but because of COVID, we're slowly trying to open up. So we're just now starting to be in office once or twice a week, but they're not there fully yet. So we're waiting to let the senior citizens, get used to mingling with each other again. Like they'll have a bingo night, but unfortunately, I really have compassion for our deaf senior citizens. They haven't had a lot of stimulation. And so because they've been stuck in their apartments, so they're trying to do their best to make it fun. Friday, they're having an internet Zoom activity. So right now we're trying to do everything we can to get it back up and going.
So one last question. Do you know of any programming in the Fort Worth area? So Fort Worth isn't that far from Dallas, but it does take an intentional effort to get from Fort Worth to Dallas. And so do you know of any programming for youth specifically in the Fort Worth, Tarrant County area? And you may not.
I know of one. I'm trying to remember that church camp, a church event that they were having. It was led by, I think, Emily, I think a parent. And maybe I can get that information and share it with you. That's one that I know of. Other than that, our employee that worked in Fort Worth for the Access Department, Sheila Grady, she works there in Fort Worth. And Gamma, I can get in touch with them and see. I'm not sure what they have going on in the Fort Worth office. We have 2 Deaf Action Center offices, one in Dallas here, and then one in Fort Worth office. So I'd be glad to get in touch with them to see if they have any more camps or know of youth camps for the deaf. I know typically we have a lot of stuff going on for the youth. We have church events. different things going on at TSC, but this year it's so very limited.
So we can expect next year, hopefully in 2022, there will be more opportunities because things will be more opened up because of, hopefully by that point, we will be looking at COVID in our rearview mirror and not where we are right now.
Yes, right. I agree. Plus, it's the only time that our youth have an opportunity to socialize with their peers. You know, they see their local friends in school, but we have regional programs and they haven't been able to go. It will be nice if they finally get back together, share language and culture, and deaf likeness. They need to be able to do that. That's fun. Those are opportunities for youth that needs to reopen.
Okay, any other questions from any of our participants this evening? We have one person who just joined, and I think we're about to wrap up, actually.
I'm so sorry.
That's
Hello?
okay. Do you have any questions for Janira before we wrap up? And we're recording this, and you are welcome to access all of the information that Janira shared with us over the last 40 minutes. So
Okay.
if you have any questions, now's your chance to ask, and you're welcome to do that. We're glad you're here.
Okay, thank you so much. My name's Marsha, and I was referred by Sammy Shepard from Tarrant County College. I actually work with her there. I just had a baby in February. He is 3 months old. His name is Micah, and Micah is, I'm not sure how to address it as deaf or hard of hearing, but he has failed multiple hearing exams on one side, and so he's getting a hearing aid in a few weeks. And I am in total uncharted territory. I have no idea what I'm doing, where to go. I have no idea what resources are available to me, especially as a single parent of a child with this issue. And I was hoping to connect with some people, get advice, maybe get some support from other people that have been where I've been, and see what resources are available to me. And I apologize for missing the majority of the meeting. I was at work and then tending to Micah. So.
No apology necessary. That's a great question, especially for some of the other parents that are in the group.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
Marsha.
Yes.
Marsha, so this is Janira. First, I want to congratulate you. You're doing the best you can. You're already looking for resources. That's the best thing as a parent. Best thing you can do to search out the resources and get in touch with other people. So, oh, look, he's so cute. So my daughter, she became hard of hearing at the age of 2. It was very hard. I'm a deaf mom, and so I wanted the best for my child. It was very hard at first. It's best to be in touch with ECI, Early Childhood Intervention. Are you aware of that? Have you
No.
heard of ECI?
No.
Yes. So I can get that resource for you. That's how I started. So they'll come, I think, once a month or every 2 weeks, and they evaluated my daughter. She was 2 at the time, and she was diagnosed as being hard of hearing. So they gave me the resources that I needed. Another resource that you could get is led by parents who have deaf or hard of hearing children. It's an awesome resource as well. So a third resource, tell me where you live. Dallas, Fort Worth area, where?
The Fort Worth area, like Crowley, South Fort Worth.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. So I can get your contact information. I can get you in touch with Sheila Grady. She is our Fort Worth Access Manager there. So she can certainly give you more information and sit down with you, whatever time best fits your needs.
Okay, that would be great. I appreciate that.
So Marcia, I work as a, go ahead. I'm not sure who was talking.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Ann.
Well, I put my name and my email address in the chat box. So I work as a consultant for Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services. I'm not a parent of a deaf child, but I do have contacts with ECI in your area, and I can also get you connected with the Regional Day School program for the deaf that where you live. Crowley ISD. Are you in Crowley ISD?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Crowley ISD has their own Regional Day School program for the deaf.
Oh, okay.
Now, their school is out for Crowley, I think, or are they still in school?
No,
I'm
they're
not
still in
sure.
school. I think they're still in school for like another week or two.
Okay, that's what I thought. They started later as well. So Fort Worth is still in session, but ECI provides services year round. So
Okay.
you don't have to wait until school starts to get the services. That you can begin those services as soon as they do an evaluation and determine that your son, Micah, whether or not he needs services. They can help you with audiological visits. They can help you with hearing aids and how to keep them clean, or how to use them, or how to change the battery, how to keep them on him, because he may want to just yank them off. It's
Yeah.
something new and it's different, and they've got some tricks to help you do that. And then also the big thing is language development. You want to make sure that you are stimulating his language and with everything you can around you. And I agree with Janira. You are spot on and doing what you need to be doing right now by seeking out those resources. And that, what a blessing for Micah. So if you'll just send me an email, then tomorrow I will make sure that you're connected with ECI. Janira is going to help you get connected with Sheila Grady. And I can also connect you with the Crowley Regional Day School program for the deaf.
Okay.
But all of the services educationally for a child Micah's age are going to go through ECI, and then they make sure that the teacher of the deaf is included in that process.
Okay.
But it's free. It's all free.
Okay.
They come to you to help you. And you don't have to go to them. They will come to you, and then they'll also help you transition, because there's free preschool. If he qualifies, there's free preschool through Crowley ISD.
Okay.
So
as far as the hearing aid, they said, well, the ENT that I found, she's in Mansfield. She was referred to me by the doctor that delivered me, which the story behind that is Micah, they think it was trauma because I had a uterine rupture. My delivery, and when my uterus ruptured, Micah's right side was hanging out of my uterus. I know it's kind of gory, but so his entire right side was affected. So they think it's either that or the fact that he had jaundice. He had really high bilirubin levels, and they said that the ENT said that possibly caused the hearing loss. So the ENT though told me that what he would get would be a headband to go with the hearing aid.
There are a variety of headbands and tricks to clip them on the back of their shirt, so if they fall out, they don't get lost in the grass and things like that. And the ECI and the parent advisor, who's a certified teacher of the deaf, can help you find some of those. There's a variety of options, and different options work better for some kids and better and not as good for others. And then there's a different kind of option for other kids. So you'll just need to try some out and find the one that works best for Micah.
Okay. And I was also looking to see if anybody knew of a good audiologist, because I was originally referring to an audiologist at Cook's, and I saw him He did the last 2 exams that Micah failed on the right side, Dr. Joshua Span. And I got word that he was leaving last week. So now they've pushed his appointment even further back to get his mold. And I'm concerned about, his dates being pushed so back. And so I was told that I could either take whatever doctor they give me because Dr. Span was leaving, or I could find my own audiologist. And I wasn't sure what direction to go in with that. So,
Generally, when somebody asks about an audiologist, I encourage them in the Fort Worth area, then I encourage them to pursue Cook, because what you most certainly want is a pediatric audiologist,
okay.
because not every audiologist knows how to test young children. They're very hard to test, as you can imagine.
Yes.
And so you want an audiologist who has experience testing young children and fitting young children with hearing aids. And Cook Children is a great option. That's also a good reason to get connected with early childhood intervention and with a teacher of the deaf who is working in the area where you live. They may have some recommendations as well for an audiologist. Keep your appointment with Cook Children's.
Okay.
Even though they've pushed it out, keep that appointment and then pursue your option. I don't want you to give up that appointment and then realize it's going to take even longer to get in to see somebody else.
Yeah.
So keep that appointment. Let's get you connected with ECI and with the Regional Day School Program for the Deaf, and then let them kind of help you navigate that uncharted territory. You're right, this is new, and so they could help you best.
Okay. All right. Well,
Good question.
Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me come in so late. I appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. And we can also get you connected with, there are some programs and some, there's another organization, it's called Texas Hands and Voices. And they have a program called Guide by Your Side, where they will match you and pair you with a parent of a trained parent of a child who is deaf or hard of hearing. And they have been through and or are going through exactly what you're going through right now. And that is a fantastic program that can help you find services and help you advocate for your child. Every parent, with or without a hearing loss, needs to be their child's biggest cheerleader and their child's greatest advocate. And now you're having to advocate in a different way than some other parents. And so being paired with a parent who has advocated for their child in the way that you will be advocating for your child is a very healthy way to meet your child's needs. And obviously he's very loved. And so like Janir, I commend you for seeking out these resources and being brave enough to jump into a Zoom meeting and ask some really important questions.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Excuse, I'm a little upset because I'm a single parent of him, and it obviously wasn't supposed to be this way. So
no, and it's never expected. Or rarely expected.
Yes.
So let's get you connected. Send me an email.
Okay.
Send Janir an email. Let's get you connected with ECI, because that is their job. They only work with children between the ages of 0 and 3.
Okay.
And they can get you on the right track and get you the resources that you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, you're welcome.
All right. Hi, Peggy. Peggy.
Hi, Martha.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. Are there any other questions before we wrap it up?
No. Oh, I don't have. Can I have Janera's email as well? I have your email, Ms. Starr, but I don't have Janera's.
Sure, I'll put it in the chat box. Hold on.
Okay. Okay,
There you go.
got it.
Also, I wanted to let you know, Marcia, tomorrow I'll be in contact with you with Gemma. It's Gemma, and the last name is DeLeo, Deleo, Lao. She is our technology specialist, and she works with audiologists and any doctors for hearing aid support. So I can ask her for specific audiologists for you, but I agree with Ann. Keep your appointment with Cook Children's. And so, but she herself works in Fort Worth. So please, I'll get in contact with you. I'll get you connected. So I know she will be very helpful to you. And also, one other thing before I go, if you get a chance to learn sign language, that would be the best opportunity for him. Sign for your son. We have deaf educators who teach classes, just basic sign language or ASL classes. So, and we teach those here at Deaf Action Center in Dallas. But I just want to encourage you to learn sign language for your son.
Yes, yes, definitely.
There are also some programs through Texas School for the Deaf that you can do online to learn sign language. And what is best for your child is what works for your child is what is best for your child. And there are some children and adults who speak and listen. There are others who need sign language. The goal is to make sure that your son is getting language, whether it's manual language or whether it's a spoken and listening language. We want to make sure that your son is getting language. And so if you choose to go with a manual language, then there are some classes through Texas School for the Deaf that you can access online. It's called Family Signs. There's a Family Signs program. And I just jotted down your email, so I'll reach out to you tomorrow when I'm at work and send you some more resources, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate everybody's participation. And with that, I think we're going to close down this meeting. And again, thank you, Peggy, for being here to interpret and to voice. And I hope everybody has a great rest of the week.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.